Turning 60 is more than just a milestone. It is a profound transformation. At this age, life begins to shift in ways that many people do not anticipate. Physically, you may notice changes in strength, endurance, and energy. Socially, relationships evolve as friends, family, and colleagues change roles in your life. Emotionally, priorities shift and inner reflection becomes more frequent. But perhaps the most significant transformation occurs in the soul. At 60, something within you begins to change direction. The soul, which has been shaped by decades of experience, now seeks depth over distraction, meaning over materialism, and peace over approval. In this video, we will explore why the soul changes direction at 60, how this transformation affects life, and how to embrace this inner evolution to live with purpose, fulfillment, and peace. The soul seeks purpose over success. For decades, life is often measured by achievements, career milestones, wealth accumulation, social status, and recognition. By 60, the soul begins to shift its focus. Success in the conventional sense no longer holds the same value. The soul seeks meaning and purpose. Material possessions and status feel temporary and insufficient. Inner fulfillment becomes more important than outward approval. This change in direction urges reflection. Am I living the life I truly want? Am I contributing meaningfully? Am I aligned with my higher purpose? At 60, the soul demands authenticity over pretense. Relationships take on new meaning. By 60, the soul no longer tolerates superficial connections. Relationships that once seemed vital social obligations, distant acquaintances, or competitive colleagues begin to lose importance. The soul seeks deep, authentic relationships. Emotional energy is reserved for connections that are supportive, loving, and genuine. Toxic or draining relationships are naturally phased out. This shift can be challenging, as it may feel like people are drifting away, but it is a divine pruning, allowing space for connections that truly nourish the spirit. Inner peace becomes a priority. At 60, the soul prioritizes calm and serenity over chaos and conflict. Emotional well-being becomes a non-negotiable necessity. Arguments, drama, and unnecessary stress are less tolerable. Silence, reflection, and solitude gain immense value. Choices are guided by peace rather than external pressure or social expectations. This transformation allows the soul to align with inner truths, fostering clarity and resilience. The soul is learning to protect its energy and avoid distractions that diminish quality of life. The body and soul align. Physical changes at 60 are undeniable. The body slows, stamina decreases, and recovery takes longer. But these changes are also a signal to the soul. The soul seeks gentler rhythms, mindful living, and slower pacing. The alignment of body and soul fosters balance, reducing unnecessary strain on both. Choices regarding health, exercise, and diet become deeply tied to spiritual and emotional well-being. At 60, the soul guides lifestyle decisions, ensuring that life is sustainable, nurturing, and harmonious. Time takes on a new value. Time feels different at 60. Days seem both shorter and more precious. The soul becomes acutely aware of the finite nature of life. Priorities shift to experiences, wisdom, and meaningful engagement rather than accumulation. Wasting time on trivial pursuits or meaningless obligations becomes intolerable. The soul encourages deliberate, mindful living. This awareness brings clarity about what truly matters: relationships, health, spiritual growth, and leaving a positive legacy. A spiritual awakening occurs. For many, 60 is a time of spiritual awakening. The soul begins to question, reflect, and seek connection with something greater than itself. Faith, prayer, meditation, and reflection take on new importance. The soul searches for alignment with divine guidance and universal truths. Material concerns fade, replaced by a desire for inner fulfillment and transcendence. This spiritual shift encourages wisdom, compassion, and a deeper understanding of life's purpose. Letting go becomes essential. At 60, the soul recognizes the importance of letting go of grudges, regrets, and attachments that no longer serve well-being. Emotional baggage is released to create peace and clarity. Past mistakes, unresolved conflicts, and resentment are confronted and healed. Simplicity and minimalism in both life and mind are embraced. This process of release allows the soul to focus on what is essential, fostering inner freedom and reducing stress. Desire for contribution and legacy. As the soul changes direction, it shifts focus from self-centered goals to contribution and legacy. Mentoring, guiding younger generations, or volunteering gains significance. The desire to leave a meaningful impact becomes a driving force. Personal fulfillment is increasingly tied to the positive influence one can have on others. At 60, the soul seeks to create a legacy that is spiritual, emotional, and meaningful rather than material. Wisdom overrides impulse. Impulse, impatience, and superficial desires gradually lose their hold. The soul guides decisions based on wisdom, experience, and foresight. The rush for status, wealth, or approval diminishes. Choices are deliberate, measured, and reflective. The soul prioritizes long-term fulfillment over short-term gratification. This shift fosters peace, balance, and satisfaction that younger years could not provide. Self-acceptance becomes central. At 60, the soul encourages self-acceptance and authenticity. Flaws, past mistakes, and limitations are viewed with compassion rather than shame. The soul recognizes that true peace comes from embracing who you are. Efforts are focused on self-improvement and growth rather than external validation. This leads to a quieter confidence, a sense of completeness, and the ability to live without fear or pretense. Mindfulness and presence gain value. The soul at 60 seeks to live fully in the present moment. Appreciation of small joys, sunsets, conversations, or quiet reflection becomes profound. Worries about the past or future are tempered with awareness and acceptance. Mindfulness enhances every aspect of life, from health to relationships to spirituality. This practice deepens inner peace and strengthens emotional resilience, selectivity in relationships and activities. Not everyone or everything is worthy of attention at 60. The soul becomes selective. Energy is invested only in people, activities, and goals that resonate with inner values. Superficiality, drama, and negativity are naturally avoided. Quality replaces quantity in friendships, experiences, and commitments. This selective approach maximizes fulfillment, minimizes stress, and enhances emotional well-being. Appreciation of life in its simpler forms, the soul shifts focus from extravagance to simplicity. True happiness is found in experiences, connection, and inner peace rather than possessions. Simple routines, meaningful rituals, and spiritual practices become deeply satisfying. The joy of living is discovered in quiet moments, nature, and personal reflection. This shift represents the soul's desire to live authentically and harmoniously. The soul prepares for final chapters. At 60, the soul begins to prepare for the later stages of life. Decisions and priorities are guided by long-term wisdom. Spiritual and emotional alignment take precedence. Life becomes about fulfillment, purpose, and leaving a meaningful legacy. This preparation is gentle yet profound, guiding actions, thoughts, and relationships with clarity and intention, embracing the soul's new direction. Finally, the soul at 60 calls for embracing this new direction fully. Accept the changes in body, mind, and relationships. Let go of what no longer serves your peace or purpose. Invest in health, spirituality, meaningful experiences, and authentic connections. This is the time to live deliberately, reflect wisely, and move toward a life of fulfillment, joy, and spiritual alignment. So, in last, I will say, turning 60 is not merely an age milestone. It is a spiritual turning point. The soul changes direction, guiding priorities, relationships, and lifestyle choices toward meaning, peace, and authenticity. Success and materialism give way to purpose and spiritual fulfillment. Social validation is replaced by inner contentment. Superficial connections fade, making room for depth and quality. Life after 60 is an invitation to embrace wisdom, let go of distractions, and focus on what truly matters. It is a time to align body, mind, and soul, leaving a meaningful legacy and cultivating inner peace. The soul's change in direction is a gift, a call to live the remaining years with clarity, intention, and profound joy. Those who understand and embrace it will find these years to be the richest, most fulfilling, and spiritually enlightening of their lives.